Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all right,
video.
all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world. It's been a nice break, like really, really, really nice break. But I've like seriously checked out of. Like tomorrow's going to be a very rough day, I think.
Yeah, because you haven't worked for a while then, right?
I haven't worked for a long time. I've done some work in between, but I haven't really like worked.
No, I get it. I mean, I didn't go crazy either. I like that week before Christmas, I pretty much shut it down. And then the week after Christmas, I worked Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but like maybe 3, 4 hours. And then I did a bunch of work this week on some spreadsheets and crap like that, the usual stuff.
Yeah. I started thinking about stuff that we need, stuff that we're gonna have to do as soon as I get back, as soon as we get back.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
beyond that, that's about it, really.
Yeah, for me too as well, right? I mean, it's like
Yeah,
anything, and it's a new year, right? And then what do you start doing when it's a new year? You start thinking about what you're doing in the old
yeah,
year. Should you
yeah,
keep doing it in the new year? Should you do something new in the new
yeah,
year? What's the new
yeah.
year going to be about?
It's yeah. I think too. I think I was telling you, but I'm fairly sure I didn't tell the listeners any of this stuff before. But like even kind of looking back and then realizing like how like I think the right word is burnt out, right? Like I don't think I've actually been that. So like I was out west with Kenny like the middle of December,
Mid-December.
but it feels like I don't know. It feels like 1,000 years ago, maybe.
I get it. I feel the same way.
And I think like we left there. It's funny because the last couple of times Kenny and I said, "Oh, we'll film live together when we're out there," and we're so
No, it never happens.
exhausted, like just
The last thing you want to
exhausted,
do is do
right?
one of
Like,
these,
yeah. Well,
right?
I mean, we like it's unscripted, but we bring energy, right? And so the last couple of times there just hasn't been any
But there'd be
energy, and I
nothing there,
think,
right? And then I told you,
yeah,
I didn't know what we're
yeah,
going to talk about, or I thought, man,
yeah,
we're going to be
yeah.
just yawning and sleeping on
Yeah,
the
like
podcast.
there's
What
no
kind of fun
joy
is
there,
that?
right? So yeah,
No,
there's
that's
no
not
joy
good.
there. So yeah,
And then
yeah,
if
yeah.
I was a listener, I wouldn't want to listen to it either because we'd be
No,
just lethargic, right?
yeah, yeah. So I think it was nice. I mean, I think the first 3 days that I took a break, the first day there was actually some anxiety, right? Like I kept checking emails and things like that, and then finally I started to step away and not check anything, and then I started taking naps, and I think I napped for like 3 or 4 days in a row, like every afternoon, just
That's good
like
though. That's good.
drop out, knock out, like not oh, it'd be nice to take a nap, but literally like I'm exhausted, I gotta take a nap, and then I did, right? So but I'm feeling back.
We were laughing today. I think we're both still exhausted because we had company literally from the 24th to yesterday.
Hmm. Hmm.
We did like 5 meals, like full blown 12, 15 people meals during
Wow,
the time, right? I think, and then we worked a little bit
wow,
too. So I think we're
yeah,
both looking
yeah.
at each other today thinking, just exhausted.
You a bunch of nuts.
That's saying that's okay. It's family, it's all good, right? It's
Yeah,
it's
I hear
nice to
you.
do,
I
but
hear you.
like it's tiring,
Yeah,
right? So you don't even feel like you
yeah.
got a break. Even though I did take some time. I mean, last week I did do a bunch of work from Wednesday. Well, all weekend. I worked all weekend.
Oh,
I
okay.
got some spreadsheets done and some
Yeah, yeah,
stuff
yeah,
cleaned up and
yeah,
calls here and calls
yeah,
there. All good.
yeah,
All good.
yeah.
But definitely it's just the time. It's every year I do this, and it gets probably a little worse as I get a little older because you start thinking, okay, what do I really want to do? Like, what's this year gonna be about? Like, where am I gonna put the efforts, right? I mean, the card thing has been a lot of fun this year. It'd be nice if it lasts another year. It'd be nice to get through 2022, fiddle farting around. I like to get these teas going, which I need to talk to you about.
Okay.
If there's
Yeah,
any marketing help we can
yeah, yeah,
get out of you and just figure out
yeah,
how to
yeah.
compensate you.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't know. There's lots of, you know
This
what it's like
podcast.
too, right?
This
It's
podcast.
podcast. I
We
want to do more of this. And
yeah.
this is why I was getting a little upset with ourselves this past week. Like we pulled, poor listeners, we pushed this one about 14 times in the last 6-7 days. Oh my God.
It's true actually.
I
But
just
I
I
think
couldn't do it, man. I just couldn't. I was either right in the
yeah.
middle of spreadsheets or something, and then I just got tired. I thought I can't do this.
But I think it's I mean, hopefully we're worth the wait, but I think, rolling into the end of the year is exactly that, is we were exhausted, right? And so we needed the break, took the break. If our audience is a little bit smaller because of it, then so be it, right?
That's fine,
you
right?
know, if we don't bring the energy, why bother, right? So
Well, exactly, and I think that's the thing. I think
yeah.
that's going to be that's the trick to doing this doing this period, is to bring the energy. And I think more important, I think it's just now trying to figure out how to put some energy back in our tanks. Like the rest was good, but now I think it's just a different type of fill up this sort of required. Don't know what that is yet, but it's definitely a different kind of fill up, different kind of fill up.
I think I've got to measure. It's like, it's so tempting, right? Because we have some steady clients, and we put like, neither of us are shrinking violets that way. We step into them and give it a lot, right? And I think in both my cases, I need to figure out how to not give that much. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think it's. I think it's a wiring issue, though. I don't think we're wired to that. I think there's got to be a better balance, though.
Yeah. So
right?
I think that's what I'm after is, because we went from like 2 days a week and then 2.5. But honestly, like if I look at the one that you and I work on together, we were there 3.5 days, almost 4 days a week.
Oh, I'm definitely
at some points,
definitely
right?
4.
So,
oh my God, absolutely. By the time you ran it all through,
yeah,
because 7 days.
Yeah. It's a good deal. It's a good deal for them, and they don't do it on purpose. They just need what they need.
I'm not.
There's no suggestion there.
That's not to them.
Yeah. That's not them.
Us.
That's us, right? So
right.
It's yeah. And so I think I've got to find that balance. I'm stupid that way. I'm teaching omni-channel retail again this year.
Of course you are.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's 16 weeks, right? Like the course lasts 16 weeks, but so somewhere in there, I've got to fit in.
So when you start
omni-channel retail, I think I start next week is when I start. So
it's okay.
Yeah.
No, that'll be good though. That's again, it's
I like that class though, because I like the kids that come out of there.
The kids are probably kind of cool too, right?
Yeah,
and they want to learn.
I like all the learning I got to do. Do you know what I mean? Because I can't go into that. I don't like going into that teaching old crap. So it means like the curriculum stays the same, but I got to refresh the examples and give them, kind of like a fresh perspective on things. And
well, you should update it, right? I mean, what happened last year? I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just one of those classic.
Oh my God, no! It's omni-channel retail, right? So last year was like a blockbuster year, for omni-channel retail, and now it's all changed again. So now we're going back a little bit. So
yeah, I wonder what's gonna see again. I think we all thought we were going to be out of the shit this year.
We're going back, so we're going back to modified stage 2.
I got a feeling it's not going to be long. I really don't. I think what the worry is I think that it's just the amount of cases.
Yep.
Right. So I think I really and truly believe this is toward the tail end. Hopefully. I think this is going to run out of hosts. Fingers because crossed. It sort of indicates what it would do, right? Yeah. That's what it would do.
Yeah.
I think what everybody's worried about is that if you were getting 1,600 cases a day, let's say in Ontario, and 100 people in the hospital, that was brutal.
Yeah.
At 16,000.
Yeah.
The percentage isn't there, but you're still getting 100, 150 potentially. I think that's what the worry is that we're getting a lot more cases, a lot less hospitalization.
Yep.
Per incidence.
Yeah.
But there's so many freaking incidents all of a sudden. I think that's what they're worried about. But I really think this will be a blip.
The spike went like our spikes went crazy, right? Like nuts. We're at 16,000 cases right now.
I think you got 16,000 with a 30%.
Yeah.
A rate when they go into test, right?
Yeah.
That's ridiculously high.
Yeah. But ICUs are just starting to fill up, right? So it's it's a good thing because it's not, you know, so the
Hopefully
percentage are
there's
lower.
buffer.
So
That's the
yeah,
point,
yeah,
is
yeah,
that there's,
yeah,
when you look at it, yes, they're filling percentage wise, proportionately, it's not near of
yeah,
what it was. The
yeah,
problem is there's
yeah,
just so many more.
yeah,
Again,
yeah, yeah,
hopefully what this thing is
yeah.
doing now is just going to run out of hosts
Run out
to,
of steam. Yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah,
that's what it does, right? I mean, and
yeah,
eventually
yeah,
I guess in essence what herd immunity is, or what
yeah, yeah,
the whole point of the
yeah,
vaccines and everything else is,
yeah,
to get us to this place.
yeah.
Because then it's going to change
So
retail for
fingers
this year. Like,
crossed.
what happens?
Yeah.
Like, do we go for the next month and a half in that old shitty world that we just came from, and then it's going to just go Looney Tunes? Because,
This
or at that point, are we going to be back out and about by March, April? Like, what happens?
I'm less concerned about retail through January. January traditionally is a slow period for retail anyway, right?
Yeah, not too
And
well. It's ours. The food one is still pretty solid.
food is
Food's pretty
fairly
solid.
steady, but everybody else is
Yeah,
pretty
clothing
slow.
slows down, all that stuff.
And then I feel like we had a really epic Christmas, right? Because
I
everyone
think
was
we did too.
out, and everyone had the chance to be out and do
Yeah,
what they wanted to do.
yeah.
So it's not a bad time to pull back a little, and and hopefully it's not long. Like here, we didn't actually touch. We didn't affect any of. We didn't affect anybody's like the retail side of things. For us, it's schools and venues and museums. So Kathy's
She's out again.
yeah, they're closed. So yeah, so so maybe yeah, you're right. Like hopefully it's not that long. Um, I, I feel like right away you assume they say 2 and I hear 6 weeks, but hopefully it's not all that.
No, I think the 2 weeks thing is just, I think
Yeah,
they
yeah.
know that we all probably at this Christmas, or most of us, didn't say, screw it, but we probably got pretty close to saying, screw it. We're
Yeah.
going to do like an old
Yeah.
Christmas. We're not going to be stupid about it, but
Yeah.
we're not doubling down and bubbling
No.
down like we did in the past, which is probably
No.
not smart, but nonetheless, after 2 years, I think people just have sort of had it. Whether that's right or wrong is really not relevant. I mean,
Well,
it is what
yeah,
it is.
and you hope that we took some
I hope some precautions,
reasonable risks, right? Like we
quasi-calculated.
Yeah. Yeah, we only got half of our celebrations in, so we got in the half with Kathy's family. We went up to Ottawa, and stayed at Ryan's place, and they rented a hotel nearby, and we had Christmas in Ottawa, which was really nice.
Cool.
But then we came back, and then we were supposed to do like a family reunion with my mom's side, and we had rented Airbnb up north. But like the morning that we were supposed to go, my sister's ex basically calls and says, "Listen, I'm not feeling well, and I did the rapid test, and I came up positive." I was 40 minutes away from picking, my niece up, and so we kind of like put the brakes. The three, my sister, my niece, and nephew, all did the test, came up positive. So quarantine.
Well, they're done.
They're done, and then my niece was in the car with my mom and my other sister. So we're like, oh, shite, right? Like,
yeah.
So we wound up canceling, right? Because at one point my mom said, "You guys should go," and just answer no, and we said to her, "Listen, you can't, right? Like because we got kids that have been, fighting this thing and suffering, being at home and everything. What does it say to them if we lie about the test now, right? And then you know what I mean? Like
it's just not right. I mean, at the end of the day,
thing to do.
You know
right?
what?
So,
I mean,
yeah.
but do it this way: if they had just the flu, I still don't want to see them.
Yeah.
After the last 2 years that we've all been through, you know what? Like, for what it's worth, just stay home.
Yeah. So we went out canceling. So we went out canceling,
That's
and then
fine.
Yeah. But what do you do, right?
Nothing. Nothing. You know what? You ride it, and it's all like I said. I really believe that it's getting toward the end of it, and for me right now, I'm dying to see what this next year is going to do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
in terms of what happens, like I'm even curious with retail. Like, are we gonna hang on to the online that we've done this Christmas? I'm assuming yes. Are
yeah,
we
me
going
too.
to revert back to stores more than maybe we have in the last year and a half? Or has this been the push that online sort of needed? We all remember, if we go back before COVID, we were saying 5 to 10 years online would be in that 30% range. Well, it's probably pretty damn close to there now, if
Yeah,
not higher.
yeah,
So does it stick now? Does it
yeah,
pull back for a little bit?
yeah.
Are people happy with the online experience? I mean, people have gone both
I don't know.
ways. Like, I think people were more happy 2 years ago than they are now, because I think a lot of the online has done, unfortunately, what old school retail did. And, you start seeing the mistakes or the normalcy of just how retail goes, and retail just does sometimes what retail wants to do. There's no real logic to it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, so I wonder, if the lure sort of falls off
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I trust me. I know, like, even in this house, like, returning things has become like
It's a
nobody's
chore.
happy. Like, just
It's
an
a chore.
absolute chore, right?
Yeah,
And I think the
yeah.
industry. I think I heard the other day. Was it, what did they say? 25% of gifts go back, or was it 30%? It was a high
Yeah,
number.
yeah,
A quarter to a third of
yeah,
all go back. But that's a lot
yeah.
of work,
It's a lot. It's a lot.
and
It's a
that's a
lot to
lot of
return.
moving of boxes, eh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a
It's
lot of
it's a
pieces
lot
of
of
material moving
wastage.
around. A
It's a
lot of
lot
waste.
of like, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
how long can the online world sustain that before they even say, you know what, free returns? We're not digging this anymore.
Look, the shine's coming off shipping, right? You can see everyone dropping their the limits, because shipping is getting more and more
It's
expensive, right?
outrageous.
And
Canada
so
Post has gone
it's
up
yeah,
astronomically
yeah,
in the last month.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like, what I used
yeah,
to
yeah,
cost me to ship to Ontario is vastly
yeah,
different today than it was 2 months ago,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
sooner or later, I mean, that's going to start to normalize too. And so does that help retail though, old school? Or have people gotten far enough where they're just going to say, whatever, it's not as important to me as I maybe thought it was. Like, do I
I don't
care
know,
about paying
man.
for shipping and shipping back? I do, but do I care enough not to do this anymore? Or do I say, you know what, I'll just go to the drive to the mall and I'll just go grab it. If I have to return it, I may as well just do it there.
I think you're gonna find. I think you're. I think you. I gravitate to retailers that I can get it shipped to me online and then return it in store. Like I don't
I like that. I like that, to be
like
honest, more
because
than
I
anything
get
else.
like you and I are in retail, so I get why there are retailers like Sports Check was one of those ones. Sports Check said to me, "Oh, you paid by PayPal, so you can't return it in store. You have to return it back online." I was like, I
Why?
don't. Well, I don't care. Like I gave you a method of payment. You know it's me. I have the receipt. Just give me back my money. Like I
Plus,
don't
you
care how you
authorize it. You
reconcile.
got you
Yeah, I
got
don't
paid
care
by
how you
PayPal.
reconcile it. It's not
Let's
my
just do it back through
problem.
PayPal. Like, what
Yeah,
do
it's
I
not
care?
my problem, right? Like you're send it back to me by PayPal, right? And they're like, well,
Exactly.
So I basically went, okay, well, if that's going to be the case, I'm never going to buy through PayPal again, even though it's more convenient for me. I
Right.
guess I'll either use a credit card every time, or I'll find a retailer that is super flexible about how I buy
The
it. How
means of
like
the means that they took my money is the
yeah,
means they give me my money back.
yeah, yeah,
Why are you making it my
yeah,
problem? If
yeah,
you're the one that said PayPal was
yeah,
okay
yeah,
on the purchase, then it
yeah,
needs to be okay on the return. Like,
yeah, yeah.
why are you jamming me with
Why?
this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you should
So
be able to do it in store. I don't understand
yeah,
what the confusion is.
yeah. Like you and I both love them, but Costco is a great example. Costco doesn't care
Doesn't care
how
about
you
anything.
how you buy it, where you bought it. If it's theirs, they'll take it back, right?
Right.
And like so buying online with them is really convenient because I can buy online and then
Just go to the store.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
I don't, and like I said, I don't know how the other ones are. I don't know what Walmart's like with that, because there's a lot of stuff on Walmart that's obviously not theirs. It's a
It's
marketplace. And I
yeah,
think you're
it's
probably
not
back to
that
difficult,
yeah, it's not that
which
convenient.
is why I don't use a lot. Well, again, so I mean,
Yeah.
already we start to gravitate
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
certain, like, I'm
Yeah.
finding, again, I don't, me and Amazon, or whatever we are together, is I don't mind ordering from Amazon because it's got a lot of shit and I can do stuff, but I'm very careful now too, right? because I don't need the complications. I really try to avoid the resellers too now. I'm trying to find, the vendor central accounts, or the ones that I know
Yeah.
that it's going to be more of an Amazon issue as a pain in
Prime.
the ass. Prime is exactly.
Prime
I don't. I'm
is a
eliminating all the
criteria.
bullshit in
Yeah,
between,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I'm not interested
yeah,
in the hassles,
yeah,
right? I want to try to make this a lot easier.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
do
yeah,
think,
yeah.
like, I think I'm even more interested in what you're saying. I think I'd be much more inclined if I can do it online, get it shipped, but go back to the store to do the exchange or upgrade or whatever
Mhm,
it is.
mhm.
I'm probably a little more happier.
Oh, either that or it's unique enough that I don't care.
Well,
Like
that's totally different.
before Christmas, I was ranting to Kenny about it, but I bought this sustainable bag, like this backpack made out of paper. It came from the UK. It was kind of premium in pricing, right? But I bought it because I liked it, and I
It's pretty
knew
cool.
I was never going to return it. And then if I didn't like it, I knew I'd be able to find a home for it.
No, for
So,
sure.
then I don't care either, right? So, but yeah, yeah,
It'd be interesting to see what happens.
yeah, yeah, man.
I did notice, I don't know if you noticed, like in our city, because, well, you don't have Save On. I saw a lot more Save On delivery trucks than I've ever seen over the last month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
If I went to Superstore like Loblaws, their Bopus was going mental, right? I mean, the pickup lines outside in the back were like, there's cars all the time grabbing groceries. So I think a
Yeah.
lot of people have grabbed onto that concept.
Well, I think yeah, we did groceries like that too. I think primarily because we were running out of time. Like we if we weren't entertaining family or we were running around, it was like I don't really I'm shopping. I don't have time to get groceries. So I'm just gonna order it and then pick it up on the way home, right? So
Simple, right?
we did a lot. We love it. I'm set foot in a grocery. No, I will go to a grocery store, especially for produce, but a lot of the staples we don't bother. We do it through pickup. So like curbside pickup is great. It's a wonderful, wonderful feature. So
So maybe that's where the traditional retailer still has a really good chance to remain
listen,
relevant and in the game.
I think it's fine because like when we were all stuck at home and literally stuck at home, like you think of the number of cardboard boxes that you got. Like at some point, even the least environmental friendly among us went, oh,
It's a lot of cardboard.
this is a lot of cardboard. Like, where does it all go after this, right? Like,
Yeah.
so at least with Bopus, like I don't have to wait. I don't have to worry it's going to get lost. Like, I'm going to order. I get a confirmation. I back the car up. You load it in my car. I'm pretty happy. Like that's, like that's
No, I don't think it was just
pretty
you. I'm telling you,
immediate.
man. At
Yeah.
Superstore, there was a lot of people with a lot of cars
Yeah.
lined
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
all day,
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
all hours
Yeah.
of the day.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw the back. And it's not like they had 70 stalls. They had like 10, 15 stalls, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever empty.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
at least 2, 3 cars every single
Yeah.
moment of the day. Right. So, they figured it out.
Yeah. Hey,
know?
I'm gonna switch gears. What for listeners, there's a link that came out in our last Instagram and social post to a survey. Kenny and I would like to hear from you guys so we can make the podcast better and more better.
Better.
What do you hope for the podcast this year? We have a full roster. Like if listeners are curious, I think we have guests booked until the end of February, beginning of March.
Are we that far out now? Like this is the last time they hear us just by ourselves now. Probably
I think this is the last time for quite a while. I mean, we will probably the wrap-ups that we do seem to be quite popular, so we'll probably insert ourselves in there and then push out the episodes a little bit. But yeah, end of February is where we're at right now, and I think there's like 2 loose ends that might push us right into March, actually. Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. But
that's starting
guess,
this week, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think so. We've got the one guy that you met on LinkedIn this week who keeps offering to send us samples.
That's kind of sweet though. So
we might be the weirdest podcast because we're expensive to ourselves because we don't wind up taking samples, and then I wind up buying.
And then Phil just buys them anyway. So,
Oh, did you try the sauce?
you know what? Not one. We did so many recipes and cooking, not one was relevant to it, and I didn't.
Okay.
So I've got them. That's
Okay.
this week's.
Okay.
This week is there's going to be a protein night. We're working this shit.
Can I tell you? So my favorite thing to do with it is if you're gonna make scrambled eggs in the morning, just take a teaspoon of the jalapeno.
Yeah.
And roll it into your scrambled eggs.
Okay.
It is.
Just give it that little kick.
Fuck, it's so good.
Really? Eh? Okay.
Yeah, it's so good. It's
Okay.
it's and then I did it the other day. I did it Scotch. I used the Scotch bonnet and I made eggs huevos with some avocados in it, and it was, man. I
love food.
Fuck, I love it. I love it so much.
Food, man. I really do.
We did. We
food, I
cooked.
get hungry.
Yeah. We cooked a lot this holiday. What's
we did too.
Okay, wait. So tell me, what do you hope? Is there one thing that you hope out of the podcast this year? That we do.
What do I hope to do on the podcast?
Yeah, or that you wish the podcast does this year.
You know what? It's so stupid because it means nothing, but obviously it means something to me because I can't seem to let go.
Yeah.
I would love to crack like a top something. Like I do. It's so dumb, but I want to be able to. Okay. This is so egotistical. I want to be able to go on Google and type in our podcast, and it comes up. Well, like top 100 podcasts in Canada for business or something. I know it's not be top 100 podcasts in Canada. I get that.
Yeah.
But I do. I really got. It's so stupid. I want to rank. Like I do. I just want to. I don't. And again, I don't know why. It's not going to do anything different. It's not going to change how we do shit.
Yeah.
But I would just love to know that people like listening to it, or that they get something out of it. Right. Yeah. That's kind of. Otherwise, I mean, you and I can talk. I can talk to you 7 days a week. Right. We don't need to do it online. Well, I do talk to you 7 days a week, but yeah. So my point is, we don't need to take an hour and flood the airwaves of just you and I shooting the shit, which is okay too, I guess, as people do like listening to. But at the same time, I'd like people. I really would love. I would love people to say, you know what, I got something out of that, even if it's just one nugget. You don't have to like the whole thing. You can think a lot of it. Maybe what we say, maybe we're full of shit, or you don't believe it. But if there's one nugget. That every episode someone says, oh, that's interesting. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Or they turn what we said to a different way, say, I don't agree with them, but oh my God, if I do this, light it up, man. That'd be so cool.
So so middle of December, when you and I were kind of in burnout mode, we actually we were in the top 40 in marketing podcasts on Apple Podcasts.
Seriously?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, not top 40. We were number 98, so we were in the top 100. Sorry. Why did I say 40?
It's a Billboard 100. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So we've ranked like individual episodes. We've had episodes where we have ranked top 100. We've never broken the top 50. We've definitely broken the top 100. We are regularly in the top 200 for marketing or business in Apple Podcasts for Canada. That's and then Algeria, cool. We rank in Algeria. I'm not really.
I don't understand that one at all. God bless Algerians. Apparently,
yeah, God,
I don't
God
get
bless Algeria. But yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're listening to.
But yeah,
maybe we're all they get. I don't know.
But it would be. I'm with you. It would be cool to get a little more spotlight. It'd be cool to rank a little bit higher. I think that's why the survey too. So if you guys can click the link in the bio in Instagram or in Facebook and just tell us what you think, or send us a nasty note via email. You can send a note to thiscommercelife@gmail.com. I read them all, so I'll cry.
I think that would be, don't be too mean. Be mean, but not too mean. Like, don't get personal mean. No reason for
There's a
that.
moment of vulnerability because I have feelings because I'm well rested now. So
Exactly. We're back to being, we're back to be giving a shit about things. May not
Yeah,
last
so
long.
I'm human for now, but
Yeah, might not last. In a couple of weeks, this might be
in
over.
a couple of weeks I'll be like fucking this, fucking that.
Exactly. But then you know what I love then it's also the
Yeah.
guests. I'd like having like, it doesn't even have to be so much the popularity of I don't want. I'd love to talk to Obama, but I don't need Obama on. I don't need. I don't need that level.
Yeah.
But I liked, like, I thought we had so many cool guests last year.
we
And
did.
I would just love
really
to have.
did. Yeah.
I just want another year of guests that we had next year.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're all different, but I want those same type of.
Yeah.
I like this. I love those cool stories, like family ones. Like, I don't know. I think we had such a good year for people.
We just had like some really remarkable stories on, and like some really wonderful brands. We actually had, so Aaron, who does our social media, put together these compilations for us. So I think we put out 4 or 5 of these where we picked 4 or 5 of our favorite episodes, and some of them are shoppable items. We actually had people who shop for items based on that. So we got a couple of social media comments about people who followed
How cool
our
is that,
advice.
though, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's kind of what we love. So anyway, so if you click the link, tell us what you think. We would love it.
I'd appreciate it. I'd love to hear. I mean, I really would. I'd just love to hear what people think.
I think I would like us to be able to give more coherent nuggets of information. I think we do it all the time. Yeah, I'd like us to get organized. I think us doing the monthly kind of recaps and then being able
to though.
No, not
just
scripted.
Organized.
Just more organized and
oh yeah.
Because when Kenny are succinct, I actually think we are kind of smart. So,
well, relatively speaking, it's all relative. We're the 2 smartest people in the room right now, right?
But we do need to get organized and coherent, otherwise it doesn't work. So,
I think that's the one thing that we could do. I don't want to prep.
Yeah.
Massively.
No, I don't.
But I
do
think sometimes we should have. Like, it's funny because Amelia said tonight, she goes, "What are you guys talking about tonight?" And I looked at her. She goes, "You don't have no clue." I said, "No, we no." Clue. She goes, "Well, should you guys like have something prepared?"
But
I kind of looked at it, and I didn't want to say no, but I didn't say yes either. I just kind of and I think I probably walked away.
I actually think so. I think it's funny how Kenny and I have been together like 4 years now, right? We're coming into our 5th year, really.
Well, we are in our 5th year.
And we're in our 5th year, and then he and I have been working on the same account for easily a year now. But it's funny how as we do things, we actually converge on the same thoughts on things. We do that a lot, actually. I was thinking about it, and so you're on mute. But like it happens on. No. But I do think that it's one of our superpowers, right? Because you and I tend to converge on the same. We land in the same places. We don't always agree, but we land in the same places, I think.
Yeah, we don't necessarily agree all the time. No. We definitely land in the same spot. Sometimes different ways, but we do seem to end up a lot of times in the same general area.
Yeah. So I think if we get a little more organized there, it'll make us seem even more coherent. So,
well, I think sometimes that's the only thing. Like, if I listen back to us, and I do try to listen every like 5th, 6th, 7th episode.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen. I hear us way too much because we talk way too much anyway. But I do like to go through. And there's times where I think, "Fuck, guys, get your shit together." Like, seriously, it would have taken you 5 minutes.
Yeah,
just a little bit of research, nothing in depth.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Had an idea of where you wanted it to go.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Because after 4 years, I mean, seriously, we by now we should have this figured out just a little bit.
Yeah. Just a little.
And I think for the most part we do, but I do think sometimes I wish we were just a little more. Probably just a little more prepared. I think that's a better way to say. Without not being. I don't want to be. If we have to spend a week I don't want to be like Saturday Night Live. I don't know 6 days to do a live performance. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I don't mind a little bit of work. We should do something, maybe get a topic or two.
Yeah.
right? Because there's always things that's funny, right? Those last little bit. There's things that would bug me Monday with you. We'd be talking about things, and by Thursday I already forgot.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Friday, because we finished recording on Thursday, fuck, we should have talked about that last
Yeah.
night. I'll do it for next Thursday, and then I forget again. Because
Yeah.
there's sometimes just there's nuggets that I
Yep.
just love to be able to
I
give to
agree.
people,
I
so they
agree.
could see what
I agree.
maybe an angle before you hit the wall.
Before we go, there's some things we need to say thank you. One, thank you for all the listeners and
Yeah,
all the
really.
people who have been on the show. We appreciate you, and the show wouldn't be what it is if we didn't have the guests that we had or the feedback
100%.
that we had. The other thing is thank you. Linda was our
Yep.
first patron sponsor, so Linda's generously given us $3 a month to help us keep the lights on and kind of keep everything running. You can do that on the website. Again, it's weird for us, but you can become a Patreon sponsor. It's literally $3 a month, and it's just so Kenny and I can kind of pay for recordings and editing and blah
That's
blah
it.
blah. And then if we can cobble it together a little bit more, we'll pay Aaron. Poor Aaron slaving away, a little bit more as well.
I probably owe him this one too.
yeah.
So
Yeah. So anyway, but thank you so much. And then, we'll be back at it this
Yeah.
week. We'll have a
yeah,
guest
no,
on
I'm looking
again,
forward. We
and-
got guests
yeah,
starting again on Thursday,
yeah,
and
rock and roll.
right. And if you do
Yeah.
get a chance to take a look at the survey, please do.
Yes, please.
It just
Yeah.
makes it.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, like I said, we're providing the value that listeners want.
Yeah. Awesome.
Otherwise, Phil and I will just talk.
We're gonna talk anyway.
We're going to do that anyway, but I mean,
Yeah.
we'll just talk more.
Yeah.
Like seriously,
Awesome.
after day 4 or 5, it's not that exciting to listen to Phil and Ken. all the people that work with us will tell you the exact
man.
same thing.
Oh man.
All good in the hood,
Awesome.
baby. All good in the hood.
Well, Happy New Year.
Thanks, man. You too, and happy
Yeah.
New Year to all our
Thanks.
listeners.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
let's do this again in 2022, baby.
Yeah, you got it.
Light this up. Hang on for a minute, buddy boy. Say goodnight to the folks, and